You're supposed to be dead!
Am I not?
Alright, so remember when I said this about a month ago? But I will do my best to get Rey and Leia out as soon as I can.
I lied.
So what the fuck was I up to the whole time? Well, 10% of it was me playing Arkham Knight, starting from 0, platinuming it, and getting 3 stars on every goddamn challenge.
I'm gonna say like a dead child in a river, but no, that's just stupid. No, don't break the glass!
And the other 90% of that time will remain a complete goddamn secret. This is a video about the most adorable human being on the world. I mean Daisy Ridley. I mean Rey. And for those of you calling me a simp...
Yeah, I'm a simp. I'm a simply slamming your girl with this big old horse meat ding-dong. And that's on God, baby girl.
I know a lot of people have trouble with this hero in co-op. I did too. I thought she was the hardest light side saber hero to level in this mode. A mode where XP should flow like water. But after getting her and Dooku up to 1,000, I now know that they're pretty much on the same level. Now Rey was my light side main from launch up until a bit recently. This hero is amazing, and I believe her to be criminally underrated in Battlefront 2, even though she does get a bit of praise. To me, the best thing about her is her middle ability. It allows you and your teammates to see through fucking walls, and not even within a short distance. At its base, the ability goes far, and you can even increase its distance and duration through star cards. Starting out with health a bit higher than most saber heroes, the option of having a third dodge and a knockdown ability, and an ability that reverses controls, Rey is a MILF, and she always has been, but she does suffer in co-op for a few reasons. She can get lots of XP from GA and Supremacy for spamming Insight 24/7. You get an assist for each enemy your teammates kill in the radius. But this XP outlet pretty much goes down the drain in co-op, because you really only have 3 other people on your team, who sometimes don't even know what the hell is going on. In the end, we'll have to rely heavily on combat skills with Rey, and that may make some of you nervous because unlike Anakin, Rey doesn't have any massive crowd control abilities, and Mind Trick, just like Obi-Wan's Mind Trick, it's completely useless on bots. So in terms of damage, what are we left with? Well, Insight does provide a small damage bonus when activated. We also have basic strikes and blocking. And lastly, the ability that will carry it all, the dash strike. And our star cards should represent this reliance. So for the cards, you first should be level 25 with Rey and have purple for damaging strike, resilient dash, and focused sight. With the dash strike cards, we'll be taking less damage in the ability's animation, and we'll be dealing more damage for each enemy we hit. Focused sight gives you more time in insight, time to better configure your attack route, and it's great for prolonging those assists. We'll be discussing 3 co-op maps today. Those maps are Starkiller Base, the MC-85 Star Cruiser, and Jakku.
Jakku? That junkyard?
I know a lot of people think Jakku is goop tier, but for Rey, it's a solid cream zone. Couple things before we get into this map though. It's nice to have a friend playing Finn while you grind Rey in co-op. It's actually game changing, but if you don't have any friends available to grind with you, no problem. You'll just have to sweat a little bit harder. You can see here I have a Finn recharging my abilities and making it a lot safer to charge with dash. Remember to keep in mind that Mind Trick does absolutely nothing to these guys, so focus heavily on dash and insight synergies. Speaking of those synergies, much like with the Dooku grind, you'll want to incorporate ambush tactics into your grind. This consists of taking out where the enemy spawn points are, positioning yourself outside of the line of view, popping insight, and planning a juicy dash strike. Rey is strong, but she's not basic spam an entire army strong. Being smart with your abilities is absolutely essential here. Rey's nemesis isn't Kylo or Palpatine, BB-9E or Phasma, it is the Flame Trooper. Everything in this guy's toolkit can break through your block at high damage, so it should always be a top priority to either stay out of his way until he's alone, or take him out first, so you can land a decent dash strike. The next part may seem pretty obvious to many of you, but it's imperative that you be efficient with your basics and blocks as well. Rey is not a one swing, one kill hero like Grievous or Anakin, so sometimes it's useful to combine blocking blaster shots with basics to conserve a bit of health. It's a difficult grind at first, but once you master the balance of patience and aggression, you'll have a fun time and a relatively easy time, just like I did. Alright, first things first, on Jakku it can be difficult to defend all 3 points as a normal trooper. I always start by getting enough points to buy in Rey, but not defending any objectives on phase 1. It can be pretty dangerous down here if you're not laser focused, and phase 2 is actually the best spot on this map. On phase 2, you're the best hope your team's got. It is very important to defend this phase with your life. Use insight when your radar glows red, and use dash when enemies are in a tight group. This works great at this door. And at this opening in the middle. It's also important not to get greedy. With our star cards, the dash strike is powerful, but it doesn't make you invincible. You need to take what you can get with your dash, then fall back to the objectives to help your teammates with cleanup duty. You do not want to go to the next phase. Enemy heroes can occasionally spawn, and it's good to not only use insight to scout out decent dash routes, but also to spot BB9Es and Kylos, because one stun and your cute ass is done. Plenty of great cover on this phase, cover where you can actually contest from. Don't be afraid to hide for a bit and regen before returning to the fight. Rey's base insight range is just good enough to cover this entire room too, so you'll be getting a lot of assist bonuses. After 5 minutes on phase 2 on Jakku, my Rey was averaging 30 to 40,000 XP. On Takodana, Maz's castle, there's some good choke points, and it does lead right into Starkiller, but I personally would not run it. If you're with randoms who aren't quite sure what they're doing, it'll be difficult for you to hold the line on your own. And for how much time you spend just to get to the juicy bits on phase 4, I do not think it's worth it. Alright, on Starkiller you want Rey on the first phase.
Come on, I want you to do it, I want you to do it.
For that extra juicy 3000 XP. Ugh! And our first goal is to aid our teammates at their chosen objective. I like B because of its cover. Just remember to scout out with your insight and plan an effective dash. Once you've got your teammates on the objective, this phase becomes cake. And on to phase 2, take this route up to B. And just like last time, scout out for enemy heroes, and if the coast is clear, dash like a maniac. If you need to regain health, just fall off the platform or retreat back into the stairs. Once the objective is being captured, you want to set your sights on this doorway. When the radar flashes red, charge into it with dash strike and finish them with basics. Once you're finished with them, there's still a good chunk in the middle, so get over there and introduce their tailbones to God. Should be an easy fast cap if you're on it with your teammates. For phase 3, I like going to B for its close quarters. The only drawback is that it's possible for 2 heroes to spawn here. So if it's Kylo or Palpatine, just draw them back to your friends and take him down from there. If a Phasma or BB9E is stationed here, it's best to push alongside your teammates. Once you're capping, be ready to jump on the next cluster of enemies. They can come from this hallway and this hallway to the right. Now phase 4 is a bit more tricky, about 30 guys on one objective. You're not Anakin, so you can't just go in guns blazing. Cut to the left of this hallway and scoop it out. Then with the aid of insight, work your way from the left side of the room to the right. If you need to heal, just jump up top and hold block. Insight is so useful in this area for you and your teammates, it's ridiculous. Once things look clear, stand here and watch this doorway like a hawk. Do I really need to explain why? Once you've given these guys the pill, rack up the kills on the ground floor. And boys, it is really that simple. 60,000 to 80,000 XP after 10 minutes is usually what I get on this map. It depends on how diaper tier your teammates are, and it also depends on you. So if you don't schmuck out that score on your first couple of goes, don't even worry about it. And if you're on attempt number 900 on Starkiller base and you're struggling to get even 20k XP, I suggest a garbage bag full of cocaine. Now that is a joke. Cocaine is a very illegal drug. However, in a hypothetical sense, if you do possess this narcotic and use it before every match on Starkiller base, it will probably help. That is just a massive shot in the dark. I have never seen cocaine in my life. I am, however, massively addicted to NyQuil and fiber gummies. Again, I don't condone cocaine or condoms, but... Okay, final map. The MC-85 Star Cruiser, the real power struggle. If you're soloing this map with Rey, get ready to grow some goddamn hair in your chest, because my lord does it require some elbow grease. Strap on the piss tube and bite down on that mouth guard, because this shit's about to go nuclear. Unless you have a fin, otherwise you can have one hand on the controller and the other hand 9 inches up your ass. On the first phase, you want to build up 4,000 points to grab your Rey. But wait, you do not want to end the game on phase 1. You want the first order to cap ASAP, because the true gold is on phase 2. Alright, phase 2. Rey can only be in one place at a time, so it's important to pop insight and intercept squads based on distance and numbers. It is also key to throat chop enemy heroes at the drop of a hat, because if there's one thing I've learned from the Rey grind, it's that stuns are pain in the ass! Once the room is clear, position yourself at this doorway, and when the radar flashes red, use insight. Okay, so unlike BB-8 and Chewbacca, you have to put a little bit more thought into clearing this hallway. With Rey's dash, it can end prematurely if you're having trouble getting past a trooper or you hit a wall. So the most efficient way to clean things up is to let as many troopers as possible cluster in the hallway before dashing. And maybe even get a few basic swings in, because that can work out great too. When you're finished here, there's enemies to the left and right of you, so make sure they're being kept off the objective. Do this for as long as humanly possible. Again, alone it is pretty difficult, but if your teammates are rocking Finn or BB-8, it makes a huge difference. If you're shredding and the timer gets to around 30 seconds, retreat and let the First Order take the objective, because on phase 3 and 4, our XP is still really great. It can be difficult to hold this objective solo, but if you want to close it out, blow up this hallway, then protect the objectives to the best of your ability. But if your team is good, I recommend letting them capture. Once you're in this situation, all you have to do is keep the enemy off the objective. They mostly spawn from this hallway, so wipe it out as best as you can. Regroup, then do it again. If you're pushed back onto the objective, this is a great place to set up your next dash. And guys, if you replicate these actions on the MC-85 Star Cruiser, push it to the 4th phase using every drop of nut inside your brain, by God are you gonna get some XP. After 10 minutes on the MC-85 Star Cruiser, 80 to 100,000 XP is a pretty good number. And I'm not even taking double or triple XP into account. Best way to level up Rey, guys. So when Wednesday does come, just make sure to cut off all communications with the outside world and give up on sex entirely. With that being said, guys, I want to thank you so much for sticking to the end of this longer, more painful video. I can hardly believe that we're almost at the end of this long-ass series. It's been over a year in the making. All the relatively complicated guides are out of the way, so that's a huge relief at least. But when is the next guide coming out, you ask? Well, actually soon.
And if you don't believe me, well...
Alright, go back to your grinds and get some levels. See you soon.